to the wonderful people I had on stage too. Amy Hasik, Eugene Ostashevsky, Eddie Babram, and John Cage. Alright, I never do these, but I might think about opening this kind of artist talk, me being kind of the artist. If you have some question or something, maybe not. Anyone wants to know something? Yeah.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you played the John Cage's piece, does that in any way relate to your artwork?
No.
This is spoken about silence, and I mean a lot of you saw the meaning behind it. So you relate to it then personally in some type of way.
To John Cage. I like John Cage very much. I like that piece when he's talking, and I don't relate to silence so much as to sound, but yeah, I like he's talking to the cat at the end, and that I like.
He's not really talking about, I mean, he is talking about silence, he's talking about non-meaningful.
Yeah.
Which is what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's emptying the whole metaphoric machine that we have when we hear like that. That doesn't resemble anything. That's part of a sound composition. Can give you an idea or not. Yeah, that's kind of important. Like cleaning the visual part when you hear sound. It's not so easy because of movies, horror movies mostly. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't prohibit them, but yes.
How do you write? Like what is that?
Which one? Which one is the one you just did? I wouldn't be able to write that because you're not doing it. You're not believing it completely. Try to do the sound, believing in it, and then I could try to write it.
Well, I guess the question is the whole presentation. You know, it's a series of sounds. Of how do you know? I'm assuming you write on a page.
Yes.
Somehow, like this sound after this one. What does that look like?
It's a notation. It's a kind of notation. Yeah. Like that sound. You think, I mean, that sounds very thin. Yeah. The second one is a little not just stronger, but a little more closer to an empty sound. The first one sounds too much like you. Or like me when I do it, and I think sound doesn't belong to us. It belongs to some space, like in the last piece. Yeah, I have a whole notation on that has to do, for the last piece, for example, that has to do with aspirations, expirations, aspiration done in the breast, like the beginning of the piece, and an aspiration that's done more close here or here, and it's just a little symbol like that, like kind of the neck of a dinosaur. But yeah. I work with specific notation sometimes. Before it's the sound. Yes.
Now that would sound different depending on maybe, I mean, do you always follow the notation or can you just improv sometimes?
The notation gives me a general direction. I follow it up to like 90% normally. Once I have the notation, not everything is notated. Improvisation is another world. Yeah, that I do with a trio, for example. See?
So would you say that your art is influenced by cante hondo or some kind of like a flamenco influence when you're doing it?
I like flamenco. Yeah, I don't know if influenced so much or not, but I like flamenco, and I like cante hondo very much. I don't know if you're all familiar with flamenco and cante hondo, but yeah. Something else. Let's see. Hello, Luis.
How are you doing?
Good.
I would like you to elaborate a little bit more on how you associate those sounds that you do to the poem itself, if it's part of the creative process, if the listener should know some of the background of the poem, or just how you connect sounds and words, or how you dissociate it completely?
It depends. I mean, some poems are more. I believe there's a sound, the possibility of creating a sound idea that's not connected to the content, for example, of the poem, but to the direction of the poem. The first whole section with the gift and giving, receiving, and opening had to do with that simple act of giving a gift, receiving a gift, and opening. It's based on a long poem that I repeat 3 times with different sound ideas. So yeah, it's it's a strange relation with the written poem that it becomes completely independent at some point. Yeah, I don't necessarily have to like the poem sometimes to do something, but it has to be something, some idea in the poem that attracts me, and then I try to make it into sound. Yeah. Something else? Okay, I want to thank you very much. And yeah, those of you who don't know me or something, you want to, there's a mailing list somewhere there. Actually not. But anyway, you can come talk to me. Ciao, thank you.